Nigeria and around the world to Global TV's news cycle, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says $1 trillion Nigeria economy is possible by 2026, and a $3 trillion economy is possible within the decade, noting that Nigeria can do it with double-digit, inclusive, sustainable and competitive growth. This was as he alerted the concern of the business community, assuring them that crucial plans are on the way to improve foreign exchange liquidity. Declaring the 29th Nigeria Economic Summit, NES, in Abuja on Monday, President Tinubu added that he is confident that by working closely with the private sector financing the $3 trillion national infrastructure stock can be achieved in 10 years and not in 300 years. Uyi Agbomofoegbe has details.
The president said the construction of megacities in every geopolitical zone of the size and scale of Lagos must not take 6 decades because it can be achieved in 1 decade, emphasizing that a fully networked and connected Nigeria by rail, gas, fiber optics, and road network can be constructed in less than 20 years with thriving industrial zones in every geopolitical zone of Nigeria before 2030.
A $1 trillion economy is possible. By year 2026. And a $3 trillion economy is also possible within this decade. We can do it with double-digit, inclusive, and sustainable competitive growth.
While declaring that by January 2024, the new student loan program consumer credit schemes will have come into effect, President Tinubu said new and affordable homes will be built at record pace. He outlined the 8 priority items of his administration as ending poverty, achieving food security, economic growth and job creation, access to capital across all segments of society and the economy, inclusivity, security, fairness and rule of law, and anti-corruption, stating that he is committed to delivering economic outcomes which Nigerians can tangibly feel and experience.
My government has introduced ZEFRA, measures to resuscitate the economy, including 500 billion naira intervention to support small-scale businesses.
With more than 133 million multi-dimensionally poor Nigerians, the NESG boss, Niyi Yusuf, said a multi-trillion-dollar economic growth trajectory will urgently need certain actions, including macroeconomic stabilization program, supported by an aggressively scaled national security effort to halt all forms of syndicated and organized crime around crude oil and solid minerals, a Made in Nigeria agenda.
To halt all forms of syndicated and organized crime around crude oil and solid minerals. 2. A Made in Nigeria agenda. To make in Nigeria, however, 2 striking drivers must be put in place. First, the National Emergency Energization Program to ensure easy access to stable, predictable, and affordable electricity supply.
The annual Nigeria Economic Summit is organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning. Uyi Agbomofoegbe, reporting for Global Television News.
The Federal Executive Council, FEC, has approved the creation of the Humanitarian and Poverty Alleviation Trust Fund under a governing board. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, who stated this while briefing State House correspondents shortly after the FEC meeting at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, says the fund is a flexible form of financing aimed to help Nigerians' emergency response to humanitarian crisis and address poverty in Nigeria. Kikelamo Okere has details.
According to the Minister of Humanitarian, the federal government hopes to raise at least $5 billion annually into trust fund as contribution from various sources, including government, private sector, development partners, philanthropic individuals, and other innovative form of pool funding. The minister also said the governing board will include the Minister of Finance and other top government officials that may be relevant to the trust fund.
So we're going to have contribution from government, of course, from the private sector, development partners, individuals, philanthropic individuals, and other innovative form of crowdfunding and pulling of funds together. This is to allow for emergency response to humanitarian crisis in Nigeria. Every other day we
The Minister of Finance, Education and Solid Mineral also disclosed various approval given by the Executive Council, including financing to reduce the number of out-of-school children and also deployment of technology and security to curb illegal mining across the country.
And we've also traced incidents of banditry to the handiwork of illegal miners, especially foreign illegal miners. Some notorious foreigners who come to our nation sponsor banditry in the local areas with a view to driving away the local population and then moving in to start extracting, exploration and extracting our minerals. It's technology that is helping us to decipher all of this.
Financing for the Girl Child, $700 million is the size of the current project.
The Minister of Humanitarian further disclosed that Nigeria has signed the African Charter on the protection of older persons. This makes Nigeria one of the ratified countries in Africa that has approved the adoption to ensure that older persons are treated with dignity and respect as equal members of the society. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News, Abuja.
In a bid to ensure the safety and security of the nation, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to provide the armed forces with the needed support to enable them protect Nigeria's territorial integrity. Kikelamo Okere reports that the Minister of Defense, Badru Abubakar, stated this when he paid a working visit to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja.
Since assumption of duty as Minister of Defense, this is the first visit both the Minister and the Minister of State are paying to the Defense Headquarters. Upon arrival, the Minister of Defense, Badaru Abubakar, in the company of the Minister of State, Bello Mitawali, and other officials from the ministry, inspected the quarter guard. In his remark, the Minister of Defense, who commended the armed forces for their unrelenting fight against insurgency in the country, says the Tinubu-led administration remains committed to providing all needed requirements in the fight against insecurity.
For that, we say keep it up, and we'll continue to support you in that regard. We also want to commend you for the efforts toward boosting the morale of the troops in operation areas, as you conduct regular visits and other inspirational programs to our forward fighting troops. The ministry will continue to support you in that regard. On the issues you raise, you are also aware that the president never turned you down or never turned us down. So I'm sure for all our requirements, the president, be it equipments, be it improving funding, be it accommodation for personnel, training of personnel, special funds for medical, and all what you have said, I'm sure the president will do it.
Earlier, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, while appreciating the Minister for their enthusiasm towards proper managing the armed forces for effective service delivery, called for more funding, training and capacity building, and improved welfare to boost the morale of the military.
That I know we have taken up even with Mr. President. We want to say thank you. Improved funding for the armed forces. We know the situation on ground, that the armed forces is doing the best it can, but we are limited due to dearth of funding. But we want to thank you very much for your commitment in ensuring that you present our cases to the president. Issues of accommodation for personnel, I think that's one important thing. We are yearly recruiting almost 20,000 personnel, both officers and soldiers, on a yearly basis. And the need to make sure that they are properly accommodated cannot be overemphasized.
The CDS will pledge the support of the military.
Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Yoshua Dogara Ahmed, said the Community Development Service of the NYSC is geared towards addressing challenges faced by host communities and inculcate selfishness among Corps members. The DG, who was represented by the Director of Community Development Services and Special Duties, Ajia Zainab Isa, during a workshop scheduled for CDS officers across the country in Abuja. Global TV correspondent Subarat Usman was there, and she tells us more.
The DG said the essence of the Community Development Service is to bring out the potentials of Nigerian youth towards national development.
We want to make sure we equip the schedule officers properly, because when the schedule officers are properly equipped with information and knowledge, they will be able to, step down the training when they get back to other officers of the scheme, secretariat, the respective secretariats. All these officers are from the 36 states and the FCT. They are really them, and if you look at the caliber of resource person report.
The Director of Ventures Management of the scheme said the workshop will ensure that core members make CDS more impactful in host communities, especially in rural areas.
We should expect a more effective CDS implementation at the grassroots, because during the workshop, the CDS schedule officers will be given skills that will improve their effectiveness and efficiency. And part of what we are going to discuss during the workshop is how to make the CDS more impactful.
In fact, we have stopped core members in some local government areas from coming out to the community services because of security challenges. But it's still ongoing. People are carrying out doing projects. People are embarking on projects.
Through the Community Development Service, the scheme will achieve one of its major challenges aimed at contributing to national development. Swabra Usman, Global Television News, Abuja.
The Federal Executive Council has approved a 3.45 billion loan application to finance the power and renewable energy sector, as well as to expand the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Agile project. The announcement was made by Wale Edu, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, following the council meeting held on Monday in Abuja. Edu explained that these 5 loans, some with a 40-year tenure and a 10-year moratorium period featuring low interest rate. The minister stated that an amount of $700 million is anticipated to fund the expansion of the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment project, which is now being extended to 11 additional states. The Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Agile project is geared at improving secondary education opportunities for adolescent girls aged between 10 and 20. As well, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, on Tuesday said the military was prepared for the off-cycle elections in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa State. Musa warned that any act of violence would not be condoned before, during, and after the elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission fixed the governorship election in the 3 states for Saturday, November 11, 2023. Speaking at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja during the maiden visit of the Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badr, Musa stressed that the military will stop at nothing to ensure the polls in the 3 states are devoid of violence. Musa also said the federal government has allocated special funds for the treatment of soldiers wounded at the various theaters of operations across the Federation. They added that this was to boost the morale of troops on the front line. Musa, however, assured the president that despite the wave of military coup in West Africa, the military would protect the nation's democracy. He then urged the minister to sign the harmonized terms and conditions of service. 4 governors of Southwest states on Tuesday met with their Ondo State counterpart, Rotimi Akeredolu, in his private residence in Ibadan, Oyo State capital. The governors who visited Akeredolu are Seyi Makinde, Oyo, Babajide Sanwo-Olu from Lagos, Dapo Abiodun from Ogun State, and Biodun Oyebanji from Ekiti State. Akeredolu has remained in Ibadan since he returned from his medical trip from Germany. The Corporate Affairs Commission says it has uncovered 189 fake companies used to secure land allocations in the Federal Capital Territory. The Registrar General of the Commission, Hussaini Magaji, disclosed this during a press briefing on Tuesday in Abuja. Magaji stated that the discovery was made following a complaint from the Federal Capital Territory Administration to verify the status of a non-existent company seeking land allocation. He explained that the discovery of the non-existent company led him to investigate further, resulting in the identification of other companies. He added that 2 suspects, including a lawyer, have been apprehended, and a cartel involving staff of Abuja Geographical Information System, lawyers, and the commission have been identified. You're watching the news from Global TV, coming to you live from the Nigeria's capital, Abuja. One Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using a Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. When the news cycle returns, federal government plans $10 billion to stabilize Naira as it banks on NNPCL for Forex. The news continues shortly with details of these and other stories right after this break. Please don't go away. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's still Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of the news cycle from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On following scene, Arcelon gunned down at least 13 local police officers in southern Mexico's Guerrero state on Monday. A state government source told Reuters. In the latest brazen attack in a region where gangs have been vying for control over drug trading. Among the dead is a local security chief for the town of Coyuca de Benitez, the source said. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, the town is located to the west of the popular beach resort of Acapulco. State officials said security in the area would be reinforced, including by the Navy and National Guard agents, but did not say how many police have been killed. The Coyuca de Benitez area is known for the presence of organized crime. Prior to the ambush, the agents were sent to respond to a report of alleged firearm detentions in the area, the source said. Violence has spiked in Guerrero over the past decade as a growing number of criminal gangs battle for control of the lucrative opium poppy trade, as well as for other smuggling routes. As well, the Chancellor Olaf Scholz pledged Tuesday to maintain Germany's aid to Ukraine in the face of Russian invasion, even as Berlin supports Israel in its conflict with Hamas. The German leader was speaking at a German-Ukrainian business forum in Berlin, attended by Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal and joined virtually by President Volodymyr Zelensky. Scholz said Russian President Vladimir Putin had attacked Ukraine in an act of imperialist delusion and was mistaken if he believes that it will endure longer than we will. After some initiate a cessation, Germany indestructibly ramped up its support for Ukraine in the wake of Russia's invasion. The country is now the second biggest supplier of military assistance to Kyiv after the United States. Scholz was the first foreign head of state and government to visit Israel since the shock Hamas attack, and has emphasized that support from Israel's self-defense is at the core of German foreign policy due to Berlin's responsibility for the Holocaust. Tens of thousands of women in Iceland, including Prime Minister Katrin Jakobsdóttir, are refusing to work on Tuesday. The Nefred on Women's Day Off has been called in protest at the gender pay gap and gender-based violence fields in which women form the majority of workers, such as healthcare and education, are especially affected. The planned walkout marks the first full-day women's strike since 1975. Women and non-binary people have been urged to refuse paid and unpaid work on Tuesday, including household chores. Jakobsdóttir said our government is looking into how female-dominated professions are valued in comparison to fields traditionally dominated by men. According to the Icelandic Teachers Union, women make up to the majority of teachers at every level of the educational system, including 94% of kindergarten teachers. Around 80% of workers at the National University Hospital of Iceland, the biggest in the country, are women. The Iceland have been ranked the best country in the world for gender equality by the World Economic Forum, WEF, for 14 years in a row, but the country is not completely equal, with the WEF assigning it an overall score of 92.2%. Still on the foreign scene, the European Union on Monday took a legal step towards imposing sanctions on Niger's new military rulers who overthrew the democratically elected leader in July. The 27-nation bloc has condemned the ousting of Niger's President Mohamed Bazoum, which toppled a key Western partner in the jihadist hit region. The EU announced it had adopted a legal framework under which it can now sanction individuals and entities responsible for actions that threaten the peace, stability and security of Niger. The EU has already suspended security cooperation and financial support with Niger following the military takeover. Former colonial power France is currently pulling out its 1,500-strong military deployment to the Sahel country after a demand from Niger's new rulers. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using a Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you again. You stay good.